Who was Andrew Telfer? He was a mysterious book collector who once owned the 9 gates of the Kingdom of Shadows before he finished his life. According to the script, he was a scrawny, 70-year-old man who spent his time in a room lined with books. He came across as dignified, if not set in his ways, before he went to the afterworld. Corso was introduced to the book through Boris Balkan. We learn little about Telfer other than he sold the book to Balkan the day before his end. When Dean Corso paid a visit to Telfer's residence, the widowed Telfer acted surprised when she saw the book out of Corso's hands. She questioned why her husband would sell one of his treasured possessions. While her surprise was sincere, we would learn later the book was not the favorite of her late husband, as she would have us believe. LIANA confessed the book was purchased in Spain and a great deal of money was spent. As LIANA showed Corso the library, she told him Andrew spent too many hours there. Corso questioned openly if Andrew Telfer performed any rituals to raise the devil. LIANA mocked the idea, yet admitted her husband was a trifle eccentric, but he did not believe in the mumbo-jumbo. The only clue so far that explained Andrew's actions was he acted strangely in his last few days. LIANA would later reinforce the lie that the book was one of Andrew's favorite. We soon understand she is the one fanatical over it. Corso traveled to Toledo, Spain, and interviewed the bookstore owners, a pair of doppelgangers. They told Corso they sold the book to Telfer because a great opportunity presented itself. But while Mr. Telfer paid for it, he wasn't particularly interested. Mrs. Telfer made him buy it. The story makes it known the book was extremely important to LIANA, but curiously unimportant to Andrew. We learn more about Andrew Telfer and the significance of the book when Corso spoke to Baroness Kessler. The Baroness described LIANA Telfer as a creature who only married Andrew for his money. She made him purchase the book and restore her family's chateau. The Baroness told Corso, according to the script, LIANA came from a family with a history in witchcraft. Andrew Telfer knew nothing about the secret society until he married LIANA. The secret society was named the Order of the Silver Serpent. Once LIANA had possession, she used her copy to lead the coven. Andrew Telfer had nothing to do with the sect or its rituals. The film explained, which was excluded from the script, what Andrew Telfer would do to himself if he had ever discovered the coven's adult activities LIANA participated in. We had our first credible clue why Andrew Telfer did what he did. Dean Corso, in his final confrontation with LIANA, made suggestion that she was caught in a very inappropriate conduct with her bodyguard. This offended the widowed Telfer. The idea of her betrayal resurfaces. Theories. Number 1. Andrew Telfer learned what LIANA was up to. In the version of the script I read, it did not mention why Telfer chose to leave his marriage. The film had 2 suggestive hints, the first by the Baroness, the second by Corso. There's no mention how Telfer found out. The film and the script note a 3-decade difference in age between Mr. and Mrs. Telfer, and put LIANA in a morally questionable light, not to mention she was a little crazy. However, he discovered the true nature of his wife. Being a book enthusiast, he didn't have the heart to burn it. It was probably worth $1 million. He likely felt in Balkan's hands it would be safely far from LIANA and the Secret Order. But as said by the old twin bookstore owners, all books have a destiny of its own. Number 2. Andrew Telfer was not a believer. What's mixed with the ownership of one of the 3 copies of the 9 gates of the Kingdom of Shadows is the practice of the occult with true book enthusiasm. The story makes clear the remarkable history of the 9 gates. Its topic is of key importance to those like Balkan, the Baroness, and LIANA Telfer. But it wasn't important to Vargas. It clearly said, if only once, Vargas wasn't a believer. Andrew Telfer was also not a believer, not just because he refused to join the coven, but how LIANA mocked him for not believing. Watching the film the first time, I naturally believed LIANA mocked Corso for his suggestion that Telfer practiced the occult. However, watching the film a second time, it was LIANA who mocked Andrew. There were more than just age that divided them. Number 3. What did the fallen slipper mean? Other videos debate the meaning behind the fallen left slipper from Telfer's foot. Some say there is symbolism, Masonic in origin. The importance of the left foot forward are found in ancient Egypt and Greece. In Christianity, it is no different. The left foot trampling on Satan. A statue of Martin Luther, the founder of Lutheranism, shows him stepping ahead with his left foot. Was this a subtle hint that Telfer was not only a non-believer of the occult, but an opponent? What does the script say? Telfer's feet perform a convulsive dance in midair, only 6 inches above the floor. One of his shoes comes off. The script made no special mention which of his 2 slippers fell. Perhaps other than to be faithful to the script, it was just clever camera work. What do you think the left slipper meant? Let me know in the comments below. This is Mr. G from Synergy, saying goodnight.